In a world where heroes come in all shapes and sizes, sometimes the bravest of them all has 4 paws and a heart full of love. Max, a loyal golden retriever, didn't hesitate for a second when danger came, barreling toward the family he adored. He risked it all, his safety, his strength, and even his life, to save the one who meant the most to him, a helpless baby girl. What happened next would forever change the lives of everyone who witnessed the extraordinary bond between a dog and a child. It was an ordinary afternoon in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The sun was out, the air was fresh, and the world seemed at peace. In one cozy house, a baby girl, Emma, was playing on the front porch. Her parents were inside, unaware of the impending danger. Emma's dog, Max, a brave golden retriever with a heart of gold, was close by, lounging in the yard. Max was more than just a pet to Emma. He was her protector, always watching over her with unwavering loyalty. Little did anyone know that this day would test Max's bravery in ways no one could have imagined. Max had been with Emma since she was born. His bond with her was unbreakable. The dog was always by her side, whether it was for her first steps or keeping her company when she cried. But on this particular day, something was different. Max's instincts were on high alert, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. As Emma crawled around the porch, her parents were distracted by household chores. The street was quiet, and no one noticed the speeding car approaching. The corner. It was too fast, and the driver had lost control. The car swerved off the road and headed straight for Emma, who was unaware of the danger. Time seemed to slow as Max, sensing the imminent disaster, jumped to his feet. In a heartbeat, Max raced toward the baby, barking loudly, trying to get Emma's attention. But it was too late. The car was too close. Without thinking, Max charged forward, positioning himself between the car and Emma. The crash came quickly, but Max's actions had bought Emma precious seconds. The impact was terrifying, and everything went dark. When the crash finally stopped, everything was a blur. The car had hit Max hard, knocking him aside. Emma's parents rushed out of the house, screaming in panic. They couldn't believe their eyes. The car had missed their daughter, but the impact had sent Max flying into a nearby fence. The dog was motionless, and for a split second, it seemed like he might not make it. Emma's mother ran to her side, scooping her up into her arms, checking for injuries. Miraculously, the baby was unharmed, a miracle that could only be attributed to Max. The parents' eyes then turned to the motionless dog, who had taken the full brunt of the accident to save their child. The neighborhood soon became a flurry of activity as neighbors called for help. Emergency services arrived on the scene, assessing the damage and tending to the accident. Max, still barely conscious, was rushed to the vet, with Emma's parents following closely behind. They couldn't believe their dog had saved their baby's life. It was something they would never forget. At the vet's office, the tension in the air was palpable. The doctors worked quickly to stabilize Max, but the outlook was uncertain. The dog had suffered severe injuries, and the family was left anxiously waiting for news. Meanwhile, Emma's parents couldn't stop thinking about the incredible bravery Max had shown. They knew they owed him everything. Max spent several days in the veterinary hospital, and each day seemed like an eternity for Emma's family. His injuries were serious, but he was a fighter. The doctors had managed to stabilize him, and now it was all about the long road to recovery. During this time, Emma's family could only visit him once a day, and each visit was an emotional experience. Max was heavily bandaged, and his body was bruised, but his spirit remained unbroken. Every time Emma's mother walked into the hospital room, Max's tail would wag weakly, as if he knew he wasn't alone. The doctors warned that it would take time for Max to heal, both physically and emotionally. The trauma he'd experienced was immense, and while he'd saved Emma's life, the pain of the accident lingered in his body. At home, Emma missed Max terribly. The house felt empty without his joyful bark and comforting presence. Emma's parents took turns visiting Max, and during those long hours, they reflected on everything that had happened. They had always loved their dog, but now they realized just how deep that love ran. Max had saved their daughter's life, and they would do anything to ensure he recovered fully. Despite the physical pain, Max's determination never wavered. Every day he seemed to get stronger, his tail wagging a little more, his steps a little firmer. And with each passing day, the family grew more hopeful that their brave dog would make a full recovery. As word spread about Max's heroic actions, the entire neighborhood rallied around the family. People who had never spoken to Emma's parents before were offering their help. Some brought meals, others offered to help with household chores, and many visited the hospital to check on Max's progress. It was clear that Max was not just a hero to Emma's family. He had become a hero to the whole community. The local news even caught wind of the story, and soon Max's incredible act of bravery was being shared across social media. People from all over the country sent their well wishes, and many even donated money to help with the medical expenses. The love and support from the community were overwhelming, and Emma's family felt blessed to be surrounded by such kindness. Max's recovery journey became a symbol of hope and resilience. People were inspired by his selflessness, and the story of the dog who risked it all to save a baby touched hearts everywhere. The family set up a social media page dedicated to Max's recovery, where they shared updates and pictures of the dog getting stronger every day. The trend trended for weeks, and Max became a symbol of loyalty, love, and courage. Several months later, Max made a miraculous recovery. Though he would always bear the scars of that fateful day, he was once again the energetic, joyful dog Emma had always known. The bond between Emma and Max was now even stronger than before. They were inseparable, and every time Max wagged his tail, it was a reminder of how much he had given to save her life. The family held a small celebration to honor Max's recovery, inviting neighbors and friends who had supported them throughout the ordeal. There were tears of joy, laughter, and plenty of treats for Max, who basked in the attention. As Emma reached down to give her loyal dog a hug, she whispered, "Thank you, Max. You're my hero." And as Max looked up at her with those loving eyes, there was no question that the bond between them was unbreakable. Max had risked it all to save a baby, and in return, he had been given a second chance at life, a life filled with love, joy, and the unshakable loyalty of a family who would forever be indebted to him. Max's story reminds us that true heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they have fur and wagging tails. His bravery and loyalty will forever be etched in the hearts of those who were lucky enough to witness his selfless act. If this incredible story touched you, share it with your friends and family. Let the world know that love, courage, and friendship can come from the most unexpected places. And if you believe in the unbreakable bond between humans and animals, don't forget to show your furry friend a little extra love today. After all, they might just be the hero we all need.